Today I want us to talk about Africa. Western medias in the USA have created some illusion that Africa is our dark continent, that Africa, there's nothing good which can come from Africa. This has greatly affected our image, we Africans. I'm going to discuss 5 stereotypes that are told about Africa by the Western part of the world. 5 lies that the Western media has fed the world about Africa. Guys, you will be surprised by these 5 points. Number 1, they say that Africa is a single homogeneous entity. It's like Africa is one country. See, when you go to America, when you go to Germany, I have some relatives in America, I have some relatives in Germany, Switzerland. Yeah, and this is what they say. When somebody says about Africa, they think Africa is one big country. Come on, who knows? That's a total lie. Africa has 54 countries, and each country is unique in its own way. Each of these 54 countries has its own culture, history, and political systems. Come on, in South Africa, we have the Zulu. In Kenya, we have the Bantus. In Nigeria, we have the Fulani, we have the Yoruba. When we go to the north of Africa, we have the Egyptians, guys. We have the Muslim people in Morocco, everywhere. When we go to Sudan, we have the Nubians. All these people are unique in its own way. Like myself, I am a Nilot. See, I'm unique. In South Africa, we have a few Nilots. Maybe we don't have Nilots. We have Bantus in Africa. So myself, I am a Nilotic crew, and we are so different. We are so different. Number 2, the Western media focuses on poverty and war. Come on, every country has war, and the countries that manufacture the weapons for war ain't Africa. It's not Africa. The countries that manufacture the weapons of war are outside Africa. Even the First World War was not fought in Africa. It was fought in the Western world. Right now we are having war between Ukraine and Russia. That's not Africa. The Western media only focuses on the negative aspects of Africa. I think this is some kind of propaganda that is aimed to achieve something. So look at it with the wide lenses. Of course, we also have some YouTubers coming to Africa, and they do content about negative sides of Africa. Yeah, I'm gonna name one, guys. I'm gonna name, like, for example, Indigo Traveler. He shows only the dark sides of Africa, worst parts, everything and that. We have this video about a white man who went to Burundi. He said that Burundi is the poorest country in Africa.
In Burundi, which has been chosen as per the analysis reports of the World Bank, IMF, and many other official institutions as the poorest country in the world.
$5 in the world's poorest country. Burundi.
How can this be so cheap?
Welcome to Burundi. This small East African country is the poorest in the world according.
Get ready to witness misery, backwardness, and starvation, because today you'll find out.
Come on, I'm not a Burundian, I'm a Kenyan, but I wouldn't love it when somebody says Burundi is the poorest country in Africa. Who would say that? Huh? Burundi is very clean. We have Burundian Traveler. He promotes Burundi. He tells us to go to Burundi. So Africa is not only about poverty and war. We have poverty and war also in the Western world. In America, we have places where people are suffering poverty. The rest of the world, we have places of poverty and wars. So because of this, some of the developments that are taking place in Africa are not shown. They are not entitled. Like, for example, when Barack Obama was coming to Kenya while he was still president, it was said that Barack Obama was coming to a terror hotbed. Like, the Western media, particularly CNN, called Kenya a terror hotbed, a place of war, a place of torment, a hell on earth. They were naming Kenya, like, come on, Africa is not what is being shown. See, when a white child, when an African child watches this media, they form a distorted image of Africa. So they grow up knowing that Africa is such a dark continent. Africa is like the dustbin of the world, which is not true. Here is number 3. The Western media shows Africa as a place of helplessness, a place where we cannot help ourselves, a place where we only need help to survive. Come on, Western media. No, have you gone to Johannesburg? Have you gone to Lagos? Have you gone to Abuja? Have you gone to Casablanca? Have you traveled Accra? Have you gone to Nairobi? Some of these cities in Africa are even better than some places in the Western world. Africa, like, of course, we are not developed as you people, as the Western media, but Africa is in the process of becoming, we are moving from the poverty, we are going to the first world. Guys, that is what is happening. So when you are an African, I want you to be proud to be an African. Don't let the media make you not to be proud of being an African. But see, no one is willing to deposit his money in a bank that is going broke. Nobody is willing to do that. And so when investors learn that Africa is not a developed country, that Africa is a helpless country, Africa, we only have poor people, they are not willing to invest. So in that way, we as Africans, we lose investors. But I also remember Aliko Dangote is the richest man in Africa. Guys, he's richer than many other people in the whole world, even those Western countries. We have Elon Musk. Yes, he is white, but he's also South African. He's an African. He's born in Africa. So the Western image should stop. They should stop. Please, you should stop putting that thing that you place, that Africa is poor, all that. No. Today, I'm telling all the myths. Africans, we need to rise up and discover our worth. The fourth misconception that the media places on Africa is that Africans are uncivilized. Africans are unsophisticated. Africans are primitive. Hell no. Hell no. First, the first heart plant was done by a South African in South Africa. A heart plant surgery is one of the most advanced surgeries in the world. Sophisticated. It takes a lot of brain to make all that. I can name like 10 African inventors. Inventors, guys, who invented things. But still, even no matter how much we invest, no matter how much we invent, the Western media will still show Africa as a place of uncivilized people, as a place of primitive people, as a place of unsophisticated people. That's not the truth. For example, Barack Obama, he once led the white man in the white man land. He was a black president for 2 terms. Barack Obama, a Kenyan and an American. What's that? What's that? I believe there is coming a day where Africans will come to Africa and they will love each other. And we will build our country up and up and up. We will have the Wakanda, the real Wakanda will be built by Africans. It will not be fictional, it will be real, guys. Africans are sophisticated, Africans are civilized, Africans are not primitive. Come on, look at the skyscrapers in Nairobi, look at the skyscrapers in Johannesburg, look at the skyscrapers in Egypt, look at the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. Guys, look at Cape Town. South Africa even held the 2010 FIFA World Cup. The fifth one, there are not only 5, there are so many. But for the sake of this video, I wanted to make it short. So it is this one. The Western media does not want to show the potential economic growth of Africa. And why is this? For instance, look at what President Paul Kagame is doing in Rwanda. He is turning Rwanda into the Silicon Valley of Africa. For example, look at what President Akufo-Addo, is it Akufo-Addo or Akufo-Addo, of Ghana, what he's doing is very smart. The guy is very, very smart. He has allowed Black Americans to come to Ghana and live. He's bringing back the remnants of his DNA to Africa. He understands that when the Africans leave America to Ghana or to Africa, development is going to be seen. Already development is being seen. Look at what President Uhuru Kenyatta did to Kenya. There is development, great development. We have the Nairobi Expressway. We have the Thika Superhighway. We have a lot of good things in Nairobi. I can name so many. Look at what President John Pombe Magufuli, the late of Tanzania, did. He promoted Tanzania to a higher state. There's never been a president like John Pombe Magufuli before. Africa is not what is shown in the media. Africa is greatly and greatly growing. Western media does not want to accept that Africa will one day rule the world. Yes, Africans, one day will rule the world. These stereotypes are often based on cultural, religious, and racial differences that are within Africa, which is a very, very negative way and a very bad way of looking at things, guys.